Right now, getting you ready for Election Day in Wisconsin, the latest push from the candidates and updates to this year's election process. Plus, a rising demand for vaccines, how local public health leaders are working to address the shortage as monkeypox cases are on the rise. And later, a CrossFit athlete suffering a stroke at this year's games in Madison. We'll get an update on his condition straight ahead. You're watching News 3 Now at 6. And thanks for joining us. A big day tomorrow for the state of Wisconsin, primary election day. And here are some of the basic reminders. The polls open at 7 a.m., close at 8 p.m. You can still register to vote at the polls tomorrow. Just be sure to bring proof of residence. You'll also need a voter ID in Wisconsin, but it does not have to match your updated address. And since this is a primary election, you can only vote for one side of the ticket, Democrat or Republican, but not both. We have team coverage tonight, getting you ready for what to expect tomorrow. Catherine Merck looking into expected voter turnout at local races, and Tahlil Mohadeen getting the latest on the new guidelines and training for local poll workers. First, here are the big statewide races you can expect to see on your ballots tomorrow on the Republican side. The biggest is the race for governor. The two frontrunners, businessman, Trump-endorsed candidate Tim Michels, and former Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Clayfish. She has the backing of former Vice President Mike Pence. And on the Democratic side, the race for U.S. Senate, current Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, the only well-known candidate remaining in the race after Sarah Godlewski, Tom Nelson, and Alex Lasry all dropped out. The winner of this race will take on Senator Ron Johnson in November. We're also checking to see what's expected for voter turnout in this primary. Catherine Merck caught up with one of our area's most competitive local races with more on how it's looking in the city of Verona. Catherine?
Ahead of tomorrow's election, there's obviously a lot of talk around the big races, like the governor and the Senate seat. But our smaller local elections will also have a big impact on how many voters turn out. I checked in with the clerk in Verona, who says this year could look a little different than our last couple of elections.
So there's a lot of talk about the assembly district race on the ballot.
This primary election, even the smaller races are proving to have a big impact on Wisconsin politics. But voter turnout looks different this year. Even with a hot race in Verona, absentee ballot voting didn't have as large of a turnout this year.
We have seen about 13% of registered voters have casted a ballot already. And typically for a partisan primary, we see around anywhere between 30 and 35%.
There's a couple of reasons why that could be the case, and it could be good news heading into tomorrow.
I think our absentee numbers are definitely down from 2020, but they're still significantly higher than 2018. I just think we'll see more voters on Election Day tomorrow than we did in 2020.
Before you head to the polls, the Verona clerk says there's a few little things to remember, and that might have changed from the last election as well.
Voters should check their voter registration on MyVote to make sure that they're registered at their current address, and if they're not, they should bring proof of residence with them to the polls. And also they should check their polling location, as some locations did change with redistricting.
These are just the small ways to make sure you can make a big change in your leadership, and it all happens tomorrow. And again, like we just told you, the polls will be open starting at 7 a.m. and that'll go till about 8 p.m. tomorrow. And as long as you're in line at that time, you'll be able to cast your ballot.
Catherine, thank you. If you still need to get an ID, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is offering voter IDs today. If you're looking to get one, you'll have to bring a birth certificate, proof of identity, and proof of residency to your local DMV office. Once your forms are submitted, a voter ID will be mailed to you overnight. And developing tonight, the former Supreme Court Justice who was hired by Assembly Speaker Robin Vos to investigate the 2020 election is now endorsing Vos's primary challenger. In a robocall recording, Michael Gableman says he is backing Adam Steen. Gableman's investigation was supposed to wrap up by the end of last year, but it was extended twice and allowed to run well over budget at a cost of more than $1 million to the state's taxpayers. As voters head to the polls tomorrow, our clerks are hoping they remember to keep any political disagreements out of polling places and away from election workers. If they don't, this year it will cost them. Tahlil Mohadeen live at the Dane County Clerk's office with their plans to prioritize staff safety. Tahlil?
Eric, officials say in the past few years, election workers have seen an increase in bullying, harassment, and threats just for doing their job. Now, ahead of Election Day, training for clerk staff means being prepared for the unexpected.
There's a lot of interest in elections these days all over, so that's been a benefit for recruiting.
Heading into Wisconsin's primary election, Dane County Clerk Scott McDonald says your polling place should be well staffed.
One of the benefits of COVID, the very few that there are, is that we have recruited some younger poll workers over the last few years, so Now that the older ones feel safer working again, we have larger pools.
And both the city and county are working to make sure those workers feel safe at the polls.
Just a few days ago, we did de-escalation and active shooter training for the clerk.
That training was a first and came at the request of clerks who McDonald says have often been victims of harassment.
They have felt like, you know, a lot of times they're out there in a township on their own, and who knows who's showing up and is being, you know, belligerent, usually based on misinformation.
It's an issue Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway spoke about mid-July.
We are seeing a pattern of our clerks and our election officials being harassed for doing their job. Nearly a quarter of those hostile messages suggested that their targets should die.
And less than a week ago, the city council approved a new ordinance backed by the mayor that would further penalize disorderly conduct against the city clerk or poll workers and carry a fine of up to $1,000.
I was grateful when that ordinance was introduced.
McDonald says he wants people to remember that free speech doesn't mean threatening election workers.
They can be unhappy about how the elections are run, but the difference between trying to intimidate somebody is the big difference there.
The Dane County Clerk's Office will have an emergency operations center running all day tomorrow, and the Dane County Sheriff's Office says in years past they haven't had an incident rise to the level of violence or disturbance, but they are prepared to respond should it happen. In Madison, Tahlil Muhaddin, News 3 Now.
Tahlil, thank you. And tonight we are continuing our Campaign 2022 coverage. Be sure to check out our program, Battleground Wisconsin. It's a one-hour special looking at the major races in tomorrow's primary. It starts tonight at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, for the latest live election results or to follow a specific race, check out channel3000.com and our new interactive election map. Next at 6, after a hot and humid weekend, this week is off to a damp, dreary start. Let's see if the weather will hold up for tomorrow's election day. Let's check the certified most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canal. Gary?
We are looking at a nice election day across southern Wisconsin as skies clear and the temperatures dry out. Let's start out by taking a look at the Doppler track right now. You can see pretty much Wisconsin precipitation free right now, and visible cloud track shows us the clouds clearing to our north and west. That's a good sign. We should be looking at We should be looking at temperatures that right now are right around 70 degrees, but they will warm up with time. Right now to the west, those temperatures are in the upper 70s. Otherwise, the dew point temperatures are dropping. They're in the lower 60s. Look for temperatures this evening to drop to about 66 by late evening as skies gradually clear out and the humidity levels drop. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes more dry weather for the rest of the week.
Gary, thank you. President Biden and the First Lady are in eastern Kentucky today, visiting areas hit by recent deadly flooding. The president also met up with Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and his wife to visit families affected by the devastation. Governor Beshear said last week the death toll remained at 37. With monkeypox now declared a public health emergency in the United States, health departments across the country are hoping for more resources in curbing the outbreak. McKenna Alexander joins us in studio with the local efforts. McKenna?
Yeah, Eric, monkeypox vaccine distribution across southern Wisconsin continuing this week. That's after Public Health Madison and Dane County announced late Friday night that 75 more appointments would be open for those interested in a dose. And within hours, those spots for a shot were snatched. PHMDC is still processing hundreds of requests from this weekend, with local health officials saying they hope that influx continues, even if it means people will be waiting a bit longer for a vaccine appointment.
Testing is the first stage, and luckily we're now getting the ability to test more people, which is really the first step. We learned that through COVID, that widespread testing is really the only way we can figure out how many cases there are and actually do something about it.
We'll return every message that we receive, again, regardless of whether we have the vaccine appointment available at that moment. We'll return your call.
75 more appointments will be added each week as PHMDC expects to continue receiving a weekly allotment of 150 vaccine doses. Now that delay is likely until at least September, so as Finke stressed, be patient, you will get a call back, and if eligible, monkeypox vaccine soon enough. For updates on the latest monkeypox case count, vaccine eligibility requirements, as well as dose availability in our area, you can visit PHMDC's website.
McKenna, thank you. And next at 6, how a major airline is addressing the ongoing staffing shortage. Plus, a smash and grab burglary caught on camera. We'll have the story when we come back.
Shop local for quality made in the USA products at Wanakee Furniture, etc. Browse a wide variety of sofas and hardwood home furnishings from brands you can trust, like Smith Brothers, Simply Amish, and Flex Steel. Every style, every budget.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture, etc.
Is this the new phone?
Yeah. With US Cellular, I got to pick any phone that I wanted for free. And I was already a customer.
Any brand? With any size?
Mm-hmm. I got exactly what I wanted. Big screen, big storage. I cannot remember the last time I had so many different options.
At US Cellular, new and current customers can get any phone from any brand free.
Are you actually texting them?
I don't know. I just thought I would just...
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Update your home and get 11% off everything. Now at Menards. Create your dream bathroom with our great selection of Lion showers, bathtubs, and surrounds. You're sure to find the perfect one to fit your style and budget. Get 11% off all Lions products. Complete the look with Shaw vinyl plank flooring. It's waterproof and easy to install, making it a perfect choice for your bathroom. Get 11% off all Shaw flooring right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I love this state. Knock on any door in any county, and you'll find good-hearted, hard-working folks. People whose businesses I proudly helped as Lieutenant Governor. Hard work needs to be respected again, with fair wages and opportunities to get ahead. That's how my parents opened doors for me. My mom was a teacher, and my dad worked third shift. I'm not one of these millionaires. I work just as hard for you as you work for your family. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Shop local for quality made in the USA products at Wanakee Furniture, etc. Browse a wide variety of sofas and hardwood home furnishings from brands you can trust, like Smith Brothers, Simply Amish, and Flex Steel. Every style, every budget.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture, etc.
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. We've heard the phrase the wheels came off, but for Toyota, not just a phrase, wheels have literally come off some of their SUVs, specifically the BZ4X electric SUV. The automaker says the wheels could fall off while driving, even after just a short time on the road. Last month, people were warned not to drive the SUV, but now Toyota is asking people to send the cars back altogether for a buyback because they haven't figured out how to fix the problem. Well, some incredible new video from Ohio tonight. Someone drove a stolen utility truck right through the front of a camera store, and this was no accident. This was a burglary. Happened early morning Friday in Columbus. The alarm company reported the incident to police, but the thieves were gone by the time they arrived. The store owner says they got away with only about $500 in merchandise, but caused an estimated $100,000 in damages that they caused with that crash. While many airlines may be facing tough times, Australian air giant Qantas is taking a novel approach to its staffing crunch. It's asking some of its top executives to roll up their sleeves and work as baggage handlers. The airline says 100 senior staff will be sorting, scanning, and loading luggage at Sydney and Melbourne airports for the next 3 months. Qantas says the scheme is only temporary while it attempts to hire thousands of new workers. The FAA says a JetBlue plane clipped a Southwest Airlines jet while on the ground at LaGuardia on Sunday in New York City. It says no one was injured and the Southwest plane was actually empty. The administration says the wingtips the two planes touched while the JetBlue aircraft was being pushed back from the gate. The FAA says air traffic controllers were not directing the aircraft at the time. And check this out. People who complain about not having enough time in a day may actually have a point here, albeit a very tiny one. The shortest day on Earth since the invention of the atomic clock was recorded on June 29th. According to the International Earth Rotation and Reference System Service, the Earth's rotation was nearly 1.6 milliseconds short of the usual 24-hour day on that date. That beats out the previous shortest day on record, which happened in July of 2020. More to come tonight. The Milwaukee Bucks releasing their preseason schedule featuring a pair of games in Abu Dhabi, plus an update on a 51-year-old CrossFit athlete who suffered a stroke at this year's CrossFit Games in Madison. And we'll check back in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. He'll have a look at the much more comfortable forecast for the week ahead. Stay with us.
With the best service, quality, and prices, Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. To help you remember, I made this cheer. V value. A, awesome value. L, lots of value. U.
For a limited time, get free kids' glasses and eye exam only at Stanton Optical. Walk-ins welcome.
I'm Rebecca.
Rebecca Clayfish, and your choice for governor is clear. I'm the Tea Party mom who took on the Madison establishment and won. Tim Michaels is a Madison insider who's enriched himself with your tax dollars. I stood with Scott Walker to cut your taxes. Tim Michaels sided with the union bosses and pushed to raise our gas tax to make himself richer. Tim Michaels is out for himself. I'm Rebecca Clayfish. As governor, I'll always fight for you.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate summer with our hot summer sale. We're talking about sizzling savings of 22%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 2 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board for our hot summer sale. Save 22% off gutters with any full roofing or siding project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
McGann Furniture and Flooring has a question for you. Do you have a hard time sleeping comfortably through the night? Is your mattress 10 years old or even older? Chances are you're due for a new one. Mattress technology has changed a lot in the last 10 years. Our experienced staff will help you find the right style, construction, and firmness that will give you years of sleeping comfort. And remember, we don't raise prices only to lower them later for a sale. With delivery and disposal of your old set, we make it easy to have the bed of your dreams at McGann Furniture and Flooring, downtown Baraboo.
And my economic plan is moving this country in a better direction.
What planet is he living on? Record gas prices, 40-year high inflation, costing families $5 grand more for their necessities. Sorry, Joe, that's the wrong direction. Here on planet Earth, Senator Johnson voted against Biden's massive deficit spending that sparked inflation, and he passed tax cuts to help Wisconsin families survive the economic turmoil caused by Democrats.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
This past weekend, Madison was flooded with some of the fittest athletes in the world, all competing at the CrossFit Games. But for one athlete, things didn't go quite according to plan. As Caitlin Davis found out, what was supposed to be a great finish ended up with a miraculous recovery instead.
There's not often second chances, so.
Dave Rempel was one of the thousands of athletes competing in the CrossFit Games last week, where just seconds separated the winners from the rest of the pack. But in Dave's case, the time on the stopwatch wasn't what mattered most.
You know, I remember slurring my speech a little bit, basically saying, yeah, I'm fine, I just dropped my rope. I didn't know really, I just thought this is overreacting. I just stumbled a little bit, I'm fine. I didn't, it wasn't until, by that time, CrossFit, I'm not sure who it was, but had called for an ambulance. And I remember being slid into the ambulance thinking, this is not necessary. I didn't feel like I warranted a trip to the hospital.
In minutes, Dave was in an ambulance on his way to St. Mary's Hospital, diagnosed with symptoms of a stroke. 10 minutes after arriving at St. Mary's, Dave received medication that would break up a clot in his brain. 7 minutes later, he was in the operating room.
And the symptoms were very severe, and so, Dr. Ronk and I, took, about 2 seconds to come to a consensus that the thrombectomy was a procedure that he'd benefit from.
In 2 hours after Dave's symptoms started, he was awake and moving that same side that couldn't hold the rope just hours before.
Yeah, I mean, this just shows it can happen to anybody, no matter your age or your, how healthy you are or how physically fit you are. And I really think that, the most important thing we can learn from this is that time is important.
So I'm very thankful for the chain of events, how everything kind of all played out.
News 3 Now, Caitlin Davis.
SSM Health Stroke Team gave a lot of credit to Madison paramedics who identified the stroke symptoms quickly, even though it could have been easily misdiagnosed based on Dave's age and health. The team says Dave's recovery is nothing short of miraculous. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now with your certified most accurate forecast. Gary?
Well, we're turning the corner after having rain in the last 36 hours. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. We're back to dry weather. In fact, we'll see little in the way of rain through Friday. Just an outside chance of a shower or thunderstorm on a weak cold front Wednesday night. Temperatures will warm up a bit for Wednesday with highs in the mid-80s. Otherwise, tomorrow will still be in the upper 70s. And then we'll go back to the 70s on Thursday and probably stay in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees through the weekend and through much of next week. Over the last 72 hours, you can see the area that was really hit hardest by the heavy rain from northwestern Illinois through southwestern Wisconsin and into eastern Iowa. Areas just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line around Freeport, Illinois had over 10 inches of rain. Many areas over southwestern Wisconsin, 3 to 6 or locally 7 inches of rain through Grant County into Lafayette County, south and west of Darlington. But in the Madison area, about 2 to 4 inches of rain through northwestern Dane County up toward Sauk City and then over toward Richland Center. Outside of that, most areas got at least an inch or two of rain, so it was a good soaking rain. But now the radar is clear of precipitation across Wisconsin, and to the west you don't see any rain either, so that's a good sign. We have a couple of days to dry out. And in fact, looking at the longer range computer models and adding up all the rain over the next 10 days, we're probably looking at perhaps 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain in a couple of showers and thunderstorms, but southwestern Wisconsin might even see less than that, which is good news. This time of year we normally should see a little more than an inch of rain per 7 days. And the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook calling for below normal precipitation with the highest probabilities from Madison on toward the north and west with near normal temperatures. So a good looking forecast for the rest of this week through most of next week and maybe even into the start of the following week as well. Notice the absence of clouds out to the west other than the monsoon showers and thunderstorms popping up during the afternoon through Arizona and New Mexico, where there have been some problems of flash flooding even to parts of Nevada and California. But the more concentrated areas of showers and thunderstorms have shifted to the south and east, and that's ahead of this cold front. That's what came through last night with the showers and storms. And notice the wind flow out of the north. The air is really dried out here. Temperatures are comfortable. They're a little cooler in the southeastern part of the state where there's still cloud cover, but to the north and west, temperatures are mainly in the middle 70s, and that's what we'll see for high temperatures tomorrow. But the dew point temperatures, lower 60s here. They drop back into the 50s to our north and west, and that's a sign of things to come. The air is going to be comfortably dry. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Might have a little fog to start out the day, but look for a high temperature of 78 degrees and the 7 to 10 day forecast. Up to 84 on Wednesday. That slight chance of a thunderstorm Wednesday night. Thursday and Friday, we drop back into the middle 70s with dry weather. Maybe a thunderstorm chance Friday night into Saturday, maybe just a 1 in 3 chance, and about a 1 in 3 chance on Tuesday. Otherwise, dry weather through most of next week.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers are back in the polls, where Wisconsin sits heading into week 1 in the top 25. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
Maybe she could sell her house.
What could go wrong?
Like listing your house, then dealing with all the trouble, expense, not to mention closing costs. We Buy Ugly Houses can buy your house fast for all cash as is with no hassle. Call or click to sell quick.
And he got so upset.
Oh my God. Look.
No way. She has definitely got some work done.
Doesn't even look the same anymore.
Talk about an extreme makeover. I wonder how much money she spent on those upgrades.
Hi! The house looks great, right? 3 years, no interest on roofing and siding from Feldco.
Right now, get 3 years, no interest on Feldco Roofing and Siding.
3 years, no interest on Feldco Roofing and Siding, and soon. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Why do dermatologists choose Dove?
The Dove Beauty Bar is gentle, not only cleans, hydrates my skin.
As a dermatologist, I want what's best for our skin.
With 1/4 moisturizing cream, Dove is the #1 bar dermatologists use at home.
I'm Tim Michaels. The radical left, they're destroying everything we love about America. And too many establishment Republicans, they're along for the ride.
Tim Michaels, Army veteran, endorsed by President Trump.
I'm not some career politician. I'm a self-made Wisconsin businessman who doesn't give a rip about the special interests or their money. I'm Tim Michaels. I'm running for governor to turn Madison upside down and take back the freedoms that make Wisconsin great.
Tim Michaels for governor, endorsed by President Trump.
This is the house that angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care. A framework for living well. Windows to take in the beautiful future. And is crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living, built with the help of angels.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
These guys will buy our house without even seeing it.
Online buyers make offers that seem attractive at first, only to lower or cancel at the last minute. We Buy Ugly Houses won't reduce or cancel our firm cash offers before closing. Call or click to sell quick.
Local voters head to the polls tomorrow for Wisconsin's partisan primary.
We'll break down the ballot and give you information you need to know before you go.
And blue skies and refreshing temperatures are on the way. We'll be planning your day tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
We all know rankings, polls, and projections don't mean anything until the end of the year when there's just one team left standing. But they're still kind of fun to talk about, right? This afternoon, the first coaches poll of the season dropped, and the Badgers made the cut, sitting 20th in the top 25. Wisconsin's one of 4 Big Ten teams ranked to start the season, joining Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State in the preseason poll. Before tearing his ACL, Ches Malusi was a force in the Badger backfield, averaging nearly 5 yards per carry. In a week into fall camp, Malusi is starting to look like his old self again. Paul Chris said there have been no setbacks in his comeback, and he's already doing more than he originally anticipated. If you ask Malusi, he'll say he's good to go, and the recovery process was a blessing in disguise.
The ACL recovery kind of like made me really get in tone with my body. Like the rehab, like it makes you like kind of start over with like everything, not just like your lower body, like upper body as well. So like in a really weird way, it was like a positive, and that's how I kind of looked at it.
We knew it would be the case, but Matt LaFleur made it official today when he named Jordan Love the Packers' starting quarterback for Friday's preseason opener at San Francisco. Love is currently having his best training camp as a member of the Green and Gold, and as far as if Aaron Rodgers will play in the preseason, LaFleur said that decision won't be made until after next week's joint practices with the Saints. Bucks basketball is right around the corner. Milwaukee released its 5-game preseason schedule, starting with a home game against the Grizz on October 1st. Then the Deer will play 2 games against the Hawks in Abu Dhabi. They'll take on the Bulls in the United Center after that and wrap up the preseason on October 12th against the Nets. And after traveling for most of the day on Sunday, the Wisconsin men's basketball team has arrived in France. Today, they toured parts of Paris on a double-decker bus and practiced saying hello, please, thank you, and goodbye in French. Tomorrow, they'll travel to Normandy for more sightseeing. Their first game is Wednesday.
That's in the Arc de Triomphe there, if you didn't know.
I was going to ask if you knew that.
That's the Champs-Élysées.
I figured you'd know that.
That's in Paris there. You think Jordan Love's really having his best training?
I think they're just saying that.
They're maybe hoping some teams call.
Yeah, I thought that was the lead. You know, he's moved ahead of Aaron Rodgers.
As a Bears fan, you would like to see
They're trying to bait teams, Gary, like maybe the Bears want a quarterback.
That season's over. Yeah, got a couple more years to go there. Well, at least we've got some time to dry out now after the rain yesterday. You can see the sky starting to clear on the west side from the WISC Skycam. Partly sunny skies now in Platteville, so that's a good sign of things to come. Temperatures very comfortable. Still 60s close to Lake Michigan where there's cloud cover, but 70s across the rest of southern Wisconsin. And those dew point temperatures continue to fall as the air becomes more comfortable.
All right, join us for our political special in 30 minutes. Battleground Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.